So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. The situation on manhood theft did not start today. As far back as the 70s, there has always been that news that somebody's penis got stolen or got missing in transit. Now this is how they say it happens. People who claim to have witnessed or experienced this explain that this penis thief will typically touch or brush against their victims, of course a male victim, and as soon as they make contact with this person, their penis will automatically disappear. Now this is the technique that they claim is adopted when the victim is an adult. For children, it is their belief that this is done by offering some kind of edible gift to the child. And as soon as the child receives it or eats it, his penis will go missing. The penis thief is believed to be driven by voodoo or ritualist agenda. And it is said that this stolen penis will then be taken to a coven or some kind of witch doctor, popularly called Babalawo, who will then use it to prepare some kind of get-rich-quick charm for the person who produced this genital. As ridiculous as this sounds, it would shock you that as at 2020, at least 20 people have been killed on allegation of penis theft. When I say killed, I mean, of course, extrajudicially mobbed. And this figure even swells if we broaden our compass across the whole of Africa. And in as much as we have the statistics, sometimes the videos of these suspects and this mob action, we are still yet to see a single image or video of the bald, flattened surface of what used to be the genitals of an alleged victim of penis theft. This 56-year-old mommy was out and about in Asaba, the capital city of Delta State in Nigeria. Mama is said to be a peaceful, calm, hardworking woman who worked hard for her family and cared very greatly for her faith as a devout Christian woman. It is said that on this particular day, she was on her way to a church program. Mama was not a millionaire, but she was a happy and content woman. She boarded a tricycle, popularly known as Keke Napep, and the whole trip went very typically. When she got to her bus stop at DBS Junction, there in Asaba, she alighted along with other passengers on that trip. Mama had continued her journey and her day when all of a sudden, I mean out of nowhere, a young man, young enough to be Mama's son, yelled out. Mama was surprised as to why this young man suddenly started screaming, but her surprise heightened even more when she realized that this boy was screaming at her, pointing at her, charging at her, approaching her. She couldn't understand for the life of her what was going on. And then she heard his words. This young man, Sunday Linus Ebube, was screaming that Mama had stolen his manhood. Mama was taken aback. She was shocked. She explained that she didn't understand what this young man was talking about. And the more she tried explaining, the more Sunday Linus got more erratic and frantic about his accusations. It wasn't long before a crowd started building up. When Mama saw that the situation was fast getting out of hand and that she was in danger, when she saw that her cry for innocence and her explanations were falling on deaf ears, she began pleading to be allowed to call her children. for her children to be informed of what is going on. She begged the crowd to just spare her a few seconds to place a phone call and inform her family where she is at and the situation at hand. But that request, of course, was ignored, outrightly declined. Mama was on her own. They knelt her down, yelling at her, threatening her, calling her names, heaping all sorts of profanities on her, threatening her to release the penis of that young man or face their wrath. And as the crowd kept building up surrounding Mama, this accuser kept on yelling that Mama was in custody of his penis.
No, nah. Mama, put the picture, the boy. Make me return the boy something for.
If you know the popular DBS junction in Asaba, you would understand how rough and volatile that environment can be. And it wasn't long before an army of people had clustered.
Hey, you want back there? You want back there?
Nothing there. Nothing there. This man, you got wicked. You got wicked. Return the free giver. Return him.
I hear you will die. You will die for you.
When Mama refused to release the penis that she had stolen, the crowd descended on her heavy. This angry mob consisted of young and middle-aged men, hefty men in their prime, armed with wood, sticks, rocks, name it, all sorts of dangerous weapons. They came down heavily on Mama and started beating her. They pounded at her, punched her, kicked her, pulled her on the floor, rough-handled and malhandled her. She tried to protect her face, but there was very little her weak, frail arms could do. Come on, this woman was just an inch to 60 years old. What can a 60-year-old woman being gang-beaten to a pulp by at least 15 to 20 able-bodied men do? What could she do? This young man kept on punching her face, stomping on her belly, kicking her ribs. They planked her head, and the more she tried to shield herself from a fist, it was closely followed by the next. These men grabbed Mama's modestly tailored Ankara gown, and then they ripped it off her body. Mama was already bleeding, trembling, weak, helpless, and just had her underwear on. But these guys were not done. They weren't even close. They grabbed at Mama's brassiere, tore it off, and then ripped off her panties. When they had gotten Mama stark naked, not a shred of fabric on her, her dignity, decency, her modesty, her virtue, her pride, bared on the streets for boys young enough to be her children and grandchildren to feast their eyes on. They kept on beating Mama, stark naked, filming her, urging her to confess of her witchcraft and return her victim's penis to him. This crowd was so charged up, so vicious and devilish, that not even the presence and the attempted intervention of a uniformed personnel could stop them. They were determined to carry out their evil to the end. The norm adopted by these street lynchers is that they beat their victim to a pulp, to almost a state of coma, And when the victim is unable to move their bodies, they place a car tire around their necks and then set them ablaze. Mama had been beaten to a pulp, and what was next was for them to kill her, to burn her alive. She sat on the floor, breathless, bleeding and naked. When she left home that day, she never anticipated such turnout of events. She sat there on the floor, surrounded by this angry, vicious crowd that will not listen to her, soaking in what was now her last moments. Her life flashing before her eyes. The thoughts of her children and her family. Oh, what will people say? People will jeer at them and tell them that your mother was beaten and stripped and killed like an animal on the streets for stealing the pennies of a young man. Your mother is a witch. What a shame. What a horror. But her God said no. Some agitators in the crowd had insisted that Mama should not be killed. Yes, she has been beaten to almost a coma, she has been stripped and disgraced, and that it was time for them to take her to the police station. While others were of the opinion that no, she must be burnt. Now, in the course of this whole banter and deliberations, word got out to the police command, and so the DPO of GRA division mobilized his men, I mean a team of policemen, to storm the venue and intervene in the ongoing jungle justice. Luckily for Mama, they got to the scene before it was too late, and then they rescued her and then took a handful of people to the station. When they got to the police station, the policemen took the alleged victim inside for inspection. They needed to be sure that this heavy allegation was well founded, that the penis was indeed missing. And so they took him and checked. And when they checked, they found Sunday Linus's penis appropriately mounted in its full glory, alive and present, no inch of it missing. He had raised a false alarm that had gotten an elderly woman mobbed, battered, stripped and bruised. A false claim that almost got an old woman, innocent mother, killed. This is what he had to say in his defense.
What's your name?
Sunday.
Talk.
Sunday.
Sunday who?
Linus.
What happened?
I was coming from airport to an stop in DBL Junction. And I stopped in DBL Junction, so I saw the woman. The woman said that I should pay her transport, and I paid the woman transport. So we now come down in the same place, and I go and meet her that they have to know my thing, that she should return it. Finally, she said that I should not carry anything, that I do not know what I'm talking about.
You now go and meet her?
Yes.
That she has removed your prick. So what makes you think she has removed your prick?
Because I'm feeling somehow that time.
When you feel somehow, did you touch your prick and your prick was not there?
Yes, it's going inside.
It was going inside?
Yes.
Okay. Continue now.
So I did not stop her. I did not say I should give me my prick. So she said that she don't know what they are accusing me of, that she should leave her alone. So I now said that no, she should give me my prick first and go to the place that they send her. She now said that she should calm down.
So all those while you were accusing her, did you touch it to see that it's not there?
I touched it.
When you touched it, what happened?
It's small in my hand.
It was small in your hand?
Yes.
But it was there?
Yes.
And you are accusing that she took your prick?
Yes.
So while they were beating her, nakeding her, beating her, did you confirm whether it was there or it was not there?
I confirmed.
It what happened?
It's small in my hand.
But it was there?
Yes.
Did you tell them that you are seeing it?
No, I did not.
So why did you allow them to beat the woman to stupor? If that woman is your mother, how will you feel? Now touch it. Touch it now. I don't say make you break your mouth. Touch it very well. Is there there or not there? It's there. So how do you feel now?
I feel bad.
You feel bad? So what do you think should happen to you now? Use your mouth and say it. Open your mouth.
I'll ask for forgiveness.
You're asking for forgiveness. So what happens to the woman in the hospital? You don't know what will happen to her. Okay.
Lord have mercy. Guys, did you hear that? So it is now Mama's fault that you have a small penis. Sunday, baby. It is now Mama's fault. But keep aside what Sunday Linus has narrated at the police station. There is another perspective as to what might have happened. Now, in the last couple of days, there has been some kind of what some people may term hilarious content about people's penises getting missing or stolen. In this particular video that went viral last week, it showed a woman rolling and crying frantically on the floor because her husband's penis was alleged to have been stolen.
See the wife of who the wife is doing. Yahoo! Kamakanka! What are you? Where am I home my tea self? I found my own. No.
So many people found that scene very comic, very funny. They were like, Madam, now another person penis loss. Now you they cry, they roll like person with water carry. It be like saying now only that thing they give you joy for that your marriage. So people found it very funny, and before you know it, lots of videos and discussions started springing up about penis theft. So it trended so much in the last couple of days. So reports have it that Sunday Linus wanted to capitalize on the trend and make something like a skit or a prank video. And before he knew what was happening, it spiraled out of control, got out of hand, and it was too late to stop. And that was how Mama became his victim. Can you sit to think for a second if Mama was a young man? So many people had pity or had some kind of, reservation about killing her because she was an old woman. Old and woman. If it was a young guy being lynched, I tell you that his death would have come even sooner. All because of what is now being called a prank. Someone's grandmother's nakedness will forever remain on the internet. Her grandchildren would watch their grandmother being stripped and beaten, her dignity bared. It is just so unfortunate. Now, going further about this issue, I did a little research. I did a little bit of reading. Some reading about this alleged disappearance of manhood in Africa. An accusation that has led hundreds of people sent to an early grave without investigation or proof. And I came across this thing called Koro disorder. Let me read it out briefly. Now, according to Wikipedia, Koro is a culture-bound delusional disorder, delusion, in which individuals have an overpowering belief that their sex organs are retracting and disappearing, despite the lack of any long-standing changes to the genitals. This syndrome occurs worldwide, and mass hysteria of genital shrinkage anxiety has a history in Africa, Asia, and Europe. This syndrome is commonly known as genital retraction syndrome. So what do you think about this scientific explanation to this genital disappearance? I mean, vis-a-vis the widespread witchcraft and black magic attribution that has been infused in the minds of Africans across the years. Do you really believe that men's penis gets stolen on the streets by strangers for voodoo or black magic purposes? Or are you taking to this other scientific explanation that it is just hysteria and anxiety? Have you ever seen the flat surface of what used to be a man's genital? Have you seen it with your eyes, the victim whose penis got stolen on the streets? What do you make out of this menace that has now claimed hundreds of lives across Africa, not peculiar to Nigeria alone? Do drop your comments and let me know what you think about this down in the comment section. Let us have this conversation. It is so sad and painful that any person can just raise an alarm, a false alarm, and grown adults, matured human beings, some of them are fathers themselves, sons, have their families, will just mobilize themselves and start lynching another person without proof, without investigation, without certainty, without confirmation. Not like doing it with these things is even allowed or lawful, but worse without them. How evil and bloodthirsty people have become that once they just hear of some lynching going on, oh my God, it's a party, they grab their weapons and join in the party without caring for the truth or the possibility of falsehood. That is a people without love, a people without conscience. That is the result of the weaponized poverty and illiteracy that our leaders have adopted. That is the ripple effect. Because you do not see any reasonable, responsible person with a good job joined in this lynching. It's always the poor touts, the urchins, the illiterates. That is a result of the weaponized illiteracy and poverty that African leaders have clinged to. That is a people that go to church but do not know God. A people with no morals and no humanity. A people who have lost faith in their justice system and would rather take laws into their own hands than wait for a system that will fail them. Africans, we can do better. May God help us. I am so glad that poor innocent mama wasn't killed. I do pray that she heals quickly and that there are no permanent injuries to her. I really do hope that these perpetrators are dealt with severely, because what they did to that woman, that old woman, is unforgivable. May justice take its full course. My eyes will be on that case. Do let me know what you think about all that we have discussed down in the comment section. So guys, we have come to the end of this video. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. Don't forget that I also have a personal channel. So many people do not know that here on Nezerville, that I have a personal intimate channel where I discuss my personal life and that aspect of me as a human being. Vlogs, my relocation journey, family, and all of those close heart-to-heart stuff. So I'm going to leave the link to that second channel pinned in the comment section and dropped in the description box. Do well to subscribe too. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezerville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.